Hello Mondeo fans, welcome back to the channel. So as you can see behind me there, got the Mondeo up on jacks again. Unfortunately got another problem with the fuel pump sort of system. So what I'm thinking is it could either be, so just to fill you in, I've scanned it on 4Scan and I get a BC1012 error, which is a BCM power supply issue to the fuel pump. So that's either going to point to the wiring between that little fuel pump ECU and the pump, or the fuel pump ECU itself. So what we're going to do today, as you can see, got it up in stands. We're going to get the tank, the prop, the exhaust all dropped out again, and we're going to have a look. We're going to have a look at my wiring, make sure there's no sort of dry joints in the solder or anything weird like that, make sure nothing's vibrated loose, and hopefully we find something. What I'm going to be doing is, you don't have to start the car to test it. So I'm going to drop it all down and try and figure out where the problem is along the line while testing it while it's down. Hopefully I'll be able to figure it out on the floor with the tank on the floor. So yeah, more messing about. Hopefully we can get this done in a quick enough time. I've got a little mod coming that I've actually got in the drawer over there. Don't want to let out too many secrets yet until I put it in. So that could be this episode. Just depends if we get this thing fixed or not. We'll just have to see. So anyway, let's get stuck in. Right guys, so just for those of you who might have not seen this last time, so what's got to come off basically, this is the tank up here. So as you can see, exhaust, the whole thing's got to come off, and then prop shaft out the diff, knock that out, and then the tank can come down, and then all the electrical gubbins is all up on top. What I'm also going to do while I'm here, so if I can get a look at that, these nutserts that are in here, some of them weren't done properly. Unfortunately, I didn't have a nutsert gun at the time, well, a crimp tool thing at the time, so I did them with a spanner and a ratchet. So they were tight, but just not as tight as I want them to be. They started to come loose, this one especially. You can see it's got a bit of a wobble on it. So while I drop those brackets out, I'm going to redo those too. So yeah, so what we're going to be doing, I'll time lapse it so you don't have to watch it all. 6 of those bad boys out. Well, actually first exhaust out, which is up around the top there, and then 2 bolts that side, and then prop out, mounting brackets out, knock it out the diff because it freaking holds in so tight there, like it super glues itself in there. So knock that out, and then can actually move on to something productive like dropping the tank. So let's get on with it. Right guys, so that actually came off a lot easier than I thought. Obviously having it off and on the last few times is loosened up all the bolts and kept them loose. So what I'm going to be doing now, I'm going to be grabbing my new tool, my riv nut tool, and I'm going to be putting, I think it was about 3 or 4 new riv nuts in there because they've sort of pulled through. As a word of advice, if you ever need to use a riv nut machine, or if you ever need to put riv nuts in, get one of these, because it's a pain in the ass to get them out when they're sort of loose in there. I had to sort of bend the metal and be very forceful, and then I've had to tap it back in. Not ideal. Luckily, the prop shaft brackets aren't stopping any rotational force, so there's no actual rotational torque on them. It's just holding the prop up, so they don't have to be the strongest thing in the world. But yeah, that's what we're going to get onto next. So under we go. Right guys, so that is exhaust off, prop off, done the captive nuts or the riv nuts, put those in, and I've now dropped the tank off. As you can see under there, big mess underneath the car. Yeah, it's getting easier every time I do it, but still a pain in the ass, still all itchy from the flipping the exhaust wrap, because that's obviously some sort of fiber stuff, makes you all nice and itchy, nice and dirty, and I'm starving, so it's time for some lunch, and then we'll get back to it. So I'll see you in a couple of minutes. Right, so unfortunately I've gone to a point now where I can't get any further. I'm going to need to get some parts in. So what I've done, that I didn't film because it was quite boring, is I've dropped the tank, pulled everything apart, pulled the harness that goes from the body or from the ECU to that little fuel BCM to the fuel pump. I've taken that all off, ran the tests, came up with a load of other errors, plugged the harness back into the body and then into the fuel pump ECU thingy, but not into the actual fuel pump itself, and the same error came up. So I'm thinking that fuel pump ECU is to blame. So what I'm doing now, I'm on the case already. I'm trying to get one rushed out as quickly as possible because I don't have that much time. I've got a new baby here, so yeah, it's making my time very short. It's making my sleeping hours very short. So hopefully by next weekend I can get it out, get it in at least for a test. Just put it on there, plug it all in and see what it does. I did read on a German forum that there is a relay inside of there that goes bad, so maybe that's what's happened. Who knows? But I'm gonna have to cut this off here. You won't see it because I'm gonna carry on the episode as soon as I've got it. So hopefully I'll see you in a couple of days. Right guys, back in the garage. So you've missed out on a little bit of excitement. Well, not really. Basically got the tank out, it's over here, pulled the pump out just to double check everything inside there was okay. What I did notice was the little tube that comes from the pump that goes to the feed had a little kink in it. So I was wondering whether, so obviously with these all-wheel drive pumps, when you put them in, you compress it a little bit. So I'm sure you do on the normal Mondeo one too. I'm just wondering whether that maybe kinked the pipe and maybe that was causing some problem. I've also found in the feed from the top of the fuel pump to the actual car, there was a little kink in that too. So I'm replacing that with some harder rubber stuff that's not going to kink. Other than that, I actually haven't found anything else. I mean, there's a bit of muck inside of the pump, not much else. So what I'm going to probably do is replace the parts that I'm doing now. I've got it over there. I'm just cutting it to length, put it all back in, and then give it a try. I mean, it's just about where the place where I am at the moment. I still haven't got anybody to scan their Mondeo and see if that does with the BCMRR test that I did. I'm not sure whether that's just an error with ForeScan. I can't determine it. I haven't managed to get anybody else with another one of these to scan their pump, so I'm kind of flying blind a little bit. But wiring, pulled apart all the inside, pulled apart the door of the rear driver's door pillar, pulled that all apart, checked all the wiring in there, everything looks fine. So I'm just gonna eliminate the things that I can see and then give it a try. Who knows? So yeah, I'll catch you in on some of this. I'll probably only film a few little bits of this because I mean, you've all seen me pull it up and take all the tank in and out and a few times over this channel, so let me just get to it and then hopefully we'll have some fun today. Right guys, so that's the tank back in and the prop back in now. Just exhaust left over. I'm going to have a little chill for a minute. It's starting to rain on and off, and I really hope this has actually figured out this problem. I hope it's those two kinks in the fuel line, because I've literally found nothing else. So as I said, I'm putting it all back together. I'm confident that I've checked over the wiring and stuff underneath there. Everything looks good. So fingers crossed this problem's gone away and it was just my silliness and left a little kink in that wire and that tubing. But I'm not convinced, so I'm a bit skeptical. What I'm going to do, get the exhaust on, set it down, and then go for a test drive. Take you for a test drive with me, I think. we'll see how it goes. I really hope it's gone. So fingers crossed. Right guys, so as you can see behind me, Mondeo is now on the floor. I'm going to get washed up, and what my plans are, because I'm getting all sorts of weirdness on the scans, I'm getting some sort of weird medium speed CAN bus issues sometimes and not other times. I'm thinking it was wiring, but what I've just thought was I'm going to unplug everything that's CAN bus that I've added on. So I'm going to unplug the ODB Bluetooth ODB reader, and I'm going to unplug probably the power to the radio, so that doesn't come on, because that it does have CAN bus connection to it. Just anything else I can think of. I'm probably going to leave the pump unplugged at the back too, so it won't be in four-wheel drive at the moment, just to see if it makes any difference. And if it works, then just plug things in one by one and see what I can do. I did once have some real weirdness with my dash not getting communication. It would just die at random times. I traced that down to the Bluetooth ODB reader that I had, so I swapped that out, but I don't know, could be doing something similar. Electronics, I mean, makes me want to just pull the motor out of this thing and put something that hasn't got a brain in it, something with a carburetor on it. But yeah, this is the times we live in. You can't make power on a small motor without all the brains. So back to the grind. I'm gonna go and have a shower, wash myself off so I don't get the inside of the Mondeo all manky and horrible. Bring the laptop out and just have a bit of a look. So you'll join me in the car. Right guys, so I'm out on a little test. I've just put a bit of fuel in it because it was really low. Just put a quick 20 in case I need to drop the fuel tank again. So what I'm doing now, just cruising along, getting along up to temperature, and we're coming up to a road. It's about warm now. We're coming up to a road now where I can actually get it up into third and get it into boost and just see what it does. Fingers crossed this problem's sorted out, but who knows? Who knows? We don't know until I put my foot down. So yeah, I'm about a couple of minutes away from this little road, and then I'll catch you there. Right guys, so we just got to the road that's the national limit. I'm just waiting till it straightens out. There's a little bit of traffic I'm letting go here, but I'm in third gear. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to plant it and see what it does. So let's go. Well, that seemed positive, but it does do this sometimes in the fourth and above only. So let's see if we can do the same thing in fourth. May have to turn around. This road isn't too long for a national speed limit road. So, I mean, I only have to get up to about 50 mile an hour on a national speed limit. So, I think what we'll do, I might just turn around and come back and do it in fourth. Right guys, so same thing again, back on the road, fourth gear. I'm just going to pile it on and see what it does. Just wait till we get around this little corner here and then pile it on. Fingers crossed. Well, success. I'm baffled. I mean, I don't know if it was those little kinks that have just caused it to go a bit weird, but it's fine. Fuck knows. Obviously that code that I'm getting in the BCMIR test is just a 4-scan sort of issue or something, I'm imagining, because this is working fine. So what that means is hopefully we can get along to doing the fun part of this now. So